Hi and salam sejahtera. My name is Sally Ronalambiri with metric number D201910888675. I will present about the introduction. Sabah is not only famous for its beautiful and harmonious scenery. Sabah is also famous for its various interesting handicrafts and is indeed very valuable to own. One of those handicrafts is a basket. Therefore, the object under our study is a basket. It is one of the handicrafts produced by someone who is skilled in making handicrafts. Generally, basket is the art of weaving, which is usually formed from the weaving of bamboo, rattan, bemban, or mengkuang. However, in our study, this basket is formed from the plastic rope. Nowadays, the use of plastic rope in making basket is very famous among the makers of the basket. Next is 1.1, the introduction of how its existence affect or influence the culture. One of the handicrafts that are very much made in Sabah is the basket, where its existence can affect or influence the culture, especially the all ethnic groups in Sabah, because this object is worn by almost all of those ethnic groups. The shape and the types of the basket depends on the function and the tradition of the people who make these things. The basket with various types in terms of material use has been modified and produced to meet the taste of tourists even though the baskets are still in its original form. The weaving of these baskets has been done by the time of the ancestor, but only more using rattan, bamboo, and so on. However, it has now been renewed according to the passage of time. Therefore, the use of plastic rope is now increasingly used by basket makers to produce more beautiful and durable baskets, and then sold to the outsiders and tourists. This activity has become a culture of Sabahan people in particular and has become one of their source of income. Now we talk about the location or origin of the object. The location or origin of the object, namely basket, is Pusat Kebudayaan Murut Sabah Tenom, or in English, Sabah Tenom Murut Cultural Center. It was located in the Downwind state of Sabah. The creation is also known as 4B, which is the biggest buying building of Borneo. The building, which is located on 13.3 hectares of land, is unique and carries the characteristic of the Murut ethnic group in Sabah. It is also a unique cultural center and has become one of the icons in Tenom. It serves as a center for exhibition, development, and staging of the Murut tribe. The location is often used for the Kalimaran festival and on-site carnival. In addition, various activities were held at the center to attract more visitors and tourists from within and outside the country. Moreover, there are handicrafts, sales activities, traditional game activities, rental of traditional clothes for photo activities, and so on. One of those handicrafts is basket. Next is 1.3, the usage or function of the object. There are many functions of the baskets. One of them is to help people carry many things in one place. Rather than holding many things by hand, it is better if people use a basket to put their things inside the basket and then carry it while walking, shopping, and so on. Therefore, bringing a basket helps people carry things easily and lightly. Besides that, the basket also plays an important role as a storage and preparation of foods or fruits. The basket can also be used to store foods, snacks, or fruits if there is no place to store them. Moreover, basket can also be used as a collection of handicrafts at home. Generally, the basket was made as a handicraft, so it is also suitable to be used as one of collection of handicrafts or decoration at home, especially in living room to make more decorative beauty in the house. Last but not least, basket can also be used for practically anything and anywhere. For example, put or hang the basket at any wall or any corner in the living room, and then we put our things inside it. It will help curl our things and keep them looking organized while still keeping things close at hand and easy to see. Next is 1.4, the size of the object. For the size of the object, The basket in our study is tall as it has 45.5 cm of height, as a medium big size as it has 26.5 cm of length, and not very wide as it has 13 cm of width. Next is 1.5, the diagrams. So as you can see, this is the look of the basket.
My name is Nurul Fatnesa binti Shukri with metric number G201910888623. Next, we shall move on to the second part of the video, which is the geometry. Every object has its own unique geometrical shapes. This difference makes them more valuable, just like all other objects and also living things in this world. So in this part, we will discuss about the geometrical characteristics of our chosen object, which is the handicraft basket. There are numerous types of basket that we can get in Malaysia. Some objects have various types of geometrical design that have been combined into it in order to produce its body. Well, the basket that have been chosen by us was made by a plastic rope and has been expressed into a square shape for its body with two imperfect triangles at the upper part of its body. These two triangles connects its body of the basket with its handler, makes the design different from others in a beautiful way. The body of the basket was embroidered in square design along with the two imperfect triangles at the upper part of its body. Next, we move on to 2.1, which is the geometrical shapes. Geometric shape are any structure, open or closed, having a definite shapes and properties made up of lines and points. The known geometrical shapes are square, rectangle, circle, cone, sphere, and etc. So in this part, we will see all the geometrical shape that has been displayed on our chosen object, which is the handicraft basket. The first geometrical shape that has been displayed on our chosen object is the triangle, or specifically is isosceles right triangle, which is located under the basket's handle on both sides. This right isosceles triangle is a triangle that consists of two equal lengths for their legs. The location of this triangle was located under the basket handlers is to enhance its beautiful design and also to make the basket handler to get a stronger grip. The next geometrical shape that can be determined onto our chosen object is a square. It is located at almost every part of the basket body. A square is a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides. This basket was embroidered with black and orange plastic rope in a square shape with the same size neatly. As you can see in the figure, all of the square have equal size as all was made by the same size of plastic rope. Another isosceles right triangle that can be seen is at the body of the basket, which is in black color, as we can see in the figure.
Good day, my name is Britney Viola Christopher, metric number D201910888648. So today I will continue about the geometrical concept of each shape that has been explained in section 2.1. Before that, we should know what is the definition of length, angle, and area. For length is a linear measurement, which means we can only use it to measure the distance separating two points, while angles form when two straight lines or rays intersect at a point, and usually they measure in degrees. Area is a space that occupied by a flat shape or the surface of an object. For the first geometrical shape is isosceles right triangle. Before that, we should know how to identify its name. Triangle is the union of three line segments that are determined by three non-collinear points, and it can be classified by its sides and by its angle. First, we look the classification by its side. Since the triangle has two congruent sides, it is an isosceles triangle, and from the diagram, we know that it has one right angle, and we conclude this triangle is isosceles right triangle. So the properties of triangle, firstly, it has three sides, vertices, and angles, and theorem 3.1.1 states that in a triangle, the sum of three interior angles of a triangle is always 180 degrees. Moreover, theorem 3.2.2.5, triangle inequality states that the sum of the length of the two sides of a triangle is greater than the length of the third side. For a right triangle, it can be applied a Pythagorean theorem, which the formula is the square of the hypotenuse equals the sum of the square of the two sides. We can see the formula in the slide. Next property of triangle is the side of opposite the greater angle is the longer side. In the figure, we can see the two legs has equal length. which are 0.6 cm. Since the greater angle is 90 degree, so the longer side is the opposite of the angle, which is the 90 degree angle. So its hypotenuse is 0.85 after measure the length. Now we find the angle. For isosceles right triangle, it has one right angle. So we can find one angle which is 90 degree. For the two angle, since the sum of interior angle is 180 degree, we minus 180 degree with 90 degree equal 90 degree. So we can find the two angle, which is 90 degree divided with 2 because the side is congruent. So we conclude that 90 degrees divided by 2 and we get 45 of each the angle. Based on corollary 8.1.1, the area of right triangle with legs of length A and B is given by area equal to half of length A and B. So in this investigation, the area of this triangle is equal 0.18 cm square. For the second geometrical shape is square. As we know from the section 2.1, square is a closed two-dimensional figure with 4 sides and 4 corners, and all its sides has equal length and parallel to each other. As we already know that every geometrical shape has their own properties, same goes to square shape. The important properties that we should know are the square is a quadrilateral with 4 sides and 4 vertices, and all 4 sides has equal to each other. Other than that, the opposite sides of square are parallel to each other. Since the sides of a square are parallel, it is called as a parallelogram. The interior angle of each vertex is 90 degree, and sum of all angle is 360 degree. For each diagonal of a square, it is bisected each other at 90 degree, and the length of its diagonal are equal. In addition, the diagonal divides the square into two congruent triangles. From the drawing, we can see the length of each side is 1.5 cm. Since the properties of square states that all 4 sides are equal to each other, so the parameter of this square is 1.5 times with the sides, which is 1.5 times 4 sides and equals 6 cm. The angle of square is 90 degrees because of its property, while the area of this square is square the length of side, which is the area of this square is 1.5 square, and we get the area is 2.25 cm square. Thank you, that's all from me. I give this presentation to the next presenter.
We have learned about isometric transformation, which preserve the lengths and angles of a given figure and results in a congruent second figure, namely translation, reflection, and rotation. The concept of transformation provides background knowledge to develop new perspective in visualization skills. Pattern is a design in which lines, shapes, forms, or colors are repeated. The part that is repeated is called a motif. Motif is the starting point of any pattern in a single element that will be repeated and arranged in many different ways to create different types of patterns. Based on observations, the handicraft basket was designed with 3 different patterns on each body parts. As we can see, the first pattern is located on the upper body of the object. Transformations involved in this pattern are reflection and translation. Based on figure, translation of the motif is marked by moving or sliding the square by 1 unit to the left and 1 unit downward, or vice versa. The correspondence of some vertices of the translation are given by AX, BY, and CZ. Reflection in the motif also shown by base of the isosceles triangle, which produce a rectangular shape. We can see points D and E lies on the opposite sides from the symmetry axis at the same distance. These two transformations will repeat to form 1 unit of pattern. The pattern created also involves reflection concept, as it is repeated horizontally. For each pair of points, AX, BY, and CZ are reflected from the symmetry axis at the same distance respectively. Pattern 2, also discovered on the upper body of the object. The motif consists of rotation concept, where the isosceles triangles will rotate about 90 degrees on point O to form square. The motif then slides downward 4 times to form 1 unit of pattern. Translation of the motif is marked by 1 correspondence of vertex of the square, which is XY. Then, pattern 2 was simply arranged by slides horizontally. And the last pattern was found in middle body that involves translation concept. Translation of the motif can be observed by moving the initial motif to the right. Correspondence of some vertices are given by XJ, YK, and ZL, which slides with the same distance. As we can see, pattern 3 is the result of translation, as initial motifs process through vertical and horizontal shapes.
Next, I will present the summary and conclusions. For the summary, in part A, we learned that this basket is handmade by Murut ethnic people in Sabah. The basket used to carry many items as a food storage, as a decoration and collection, and keep things organized. In part B, there are two geometrical shapes found in the basket, which are an isosceles triangle and square. So, we also discussed about their angle, their length of sight, and the area of the geometrical shape. Lastly, there are three types of transformation that we can find in the basket, such as translation, reflection, and rotation. So, for the conclusion is, from this task, we had learned more and increased our understanding about the geometrical concepts, because we had to look at a lot of references, articles, and notes to write the report. Next, we also learned about the Murut ethnic and their culture. Nowadays, there are plenty of people who know on how to make our traditional handicraft. Therefore, it is important for us to learn and help preserve our unique traditional culture. That's all, thank you.